Okay, so I'll use you as the yardstick to judge that everybody can hear me. If at any point in time this is technology, you can't hear me, please just draw my attention so that I will be made aware of that. But I want to thank you so and the leadership of the group for the opportunity to share my uh, understanding and experience on the issues of finances in marriage with all of us. I believe that this is going to be an interactive session. Um, um, Opportunities will be given for others to also give their input so that we all learn from each other, which is the main objective to make our marriages um, move on smoothly and not get into some of the challenges that we all want to avoid. Now, the topic I was given was finances in marriage, and I would like to start off with a very funny quote that I found, which is also interesting and has some level of truth in it. Um, I would try and speak within 40 minutes, and then the rest of the time will be used for questions and contributions of others. The topic is quite broad, but I'll see what I can do in terms of the areas that I will be able to deal with. And if we are not able to complete, we'll see whether we'll continue at another time. But I'll do my very best to touch on every bit as much as possible.
Yes.
On the name page, there are a lot of communication on some of the issues, and which were very interesting. Anyway, so the quote I found was this. They say that love is more important than money. But have you ever tried paying your bills with a hug? This goes to, it's funny, but it has some level of truth in it. Money is one of the main causes of finances in marriage is one of the main causes of friction in marriages. I think that with some of the examples that were given by some of us on the page, we recognize that this is actually true. In fact, studies and research have shown that if it is not the leading cause of divorces or challenges in marriage, then it is one of the leading causes. And even though the reasons may differ, you find at the root of it the issues of money has been the cause of the challenge that the couple might be facing. Now, what I have also come to realize that sometimes it is not the money itself or the finances itself that is the issue, but how the finances are managed. Financial management is a discipline, and yeah, I would like to use the word, I don't want to use the word skill. It's a discipline that you need to learn if you do not know how to do. It doesn't come automatically. So some of the challenges will not be because the people may not be having the money per se, but whatever they have, how it is being managed to problems in the marriage. Now, what I want to, how I want to approach this is this. I want to start off with the mindset that we bring into marriage. Then I would move into certain principles that we can use to guide us in managing our finances in marriage well. I am the first to admit that there is no golden rule, or there is no magic wand, or there is no one size fits all marriage approach to dealing with this issue. Various marriages have various ways of dealing with this challenge. And so once you look into the principles, then you take the lessons from it and apply it to your particular situation. Because what may be a challenge in your marriage concerning finances may not be the issue with another person. And so if you just want to copy blindly, then that becomes, but once you learn the principle, then it becomes a bit easier to apply to your particular situation in order to improve how finances are managed by couples. The first thing I want to talk about is our mindset that we bring into marriage concerning money. You know, yeah, come for your woman say, "Okwaware na unye sika fabrefi." Nemum so okwaware na ogonya a car fakoma ukunu. It may be funny and it may look outmoded, but frankly, some people actually hold on to that. I know modern couples, man and woman, both working, gainfully employed. But when it comes to the issue of money, it becomes another situation. And you see the man making complaints to me that, look, my wife earns A, B, C, and D, but everything, you know, I am the one that have to pitch in. Or the other one says that the woman will say that because my husband knows that I earn money, it is like everything that needs to be done in the house, we need any. So I think that it is very important for us to deal with I am an accountant and I'm an equipment, so medical crabbe film. Even though I can speak Ga, I don't normally like attempting it in a presentation. The perception of stewardship when it comes to the issue of money, of finances. We recognize the fact as Christians that everything that we have, we are just caretakers of it. So if you go into marriage having the mindset that whatever God will bless me or has blessed me with, either in the marriage or before I entered into the marriage, I am just a steward of it. And one day I will have to give an account of it. So how I manage it is very important. It will help. It will help. Because you see, there is this saying that owners have rights, but stewards have responsibilities. Inti, so our no dream say you miss can't near me person me dey na me dia. That in itself becomes a problem. And as whether or bad, I am just a steward of it, administering it, and will give an account of it. Then the way you approach things will be for the benefit of others, which means for the benefit of your family and other things that God may have even given you responsibility for to take care of. And so you are very wise in the management of your finances, and you don't manage it anyhow. So I think it's very important for us to recognize the fact that we are just caretakers or we are just stewards of whatever God has blessed us with. And because we are stewards, we need, and when we are praying, we need, normally when we pray about the fact that God should bless us money, but we also need to pray the money in our marriages, or how to manage the finances in our marriages, because it is very key. If you manage it very well, and it wouldn't create problems for you, or you will enter into challenges, because you are managing the money with the mindset that I am going to give an account of it. So you are very sure, you are very wise in the management. So we need to pray for wisdom. So that's the first principle I want to carry across, the mindset. Let us have the mindset of stewardship. It is very key. Now, the second thing that I want to talk about, which still deals with the mindset, is the fact that don't worry, even though you are still a steward, when you move beyond that step or you become a step down, but the moment you marry, you realize that now we are a tag team, we are a couple, we are a team, we are working together. It is no longer me. It is we. Inti yentu ni abom. Ena sebe ya bo ebusia. Nebusia no bon ebusia na ya form or the family that we are making. It will also take money to manage the family and the needs of the family. So we need to recognize each other as partners. And partners work for the benefit of each other. That level of suspicion and that level of mistrust should be dealt with. A lot of, and here I'll be saying here and there, a lot of women who are working gainfully employed are very secretive about their finances, how much they earn and stuff like that. I think that shouldn't be the case. Yeah, there may be a chance here, but as time went on, the money kept becoming bigger and the paycheck becomes bigger and bigger. After a while, you realize that, Charlie, we are not really forthcoming with information about family, because now you say, Obano Krabi says, and as a scale of the paycheck, the requests are going to be more. So that suspicion, oh yeah, kind of thing, it shouldn't be the case. There should be openness, there should be mutual trust, so that the two parties recognize the fact that we are in this together. Money should not have more rights than the one who's earning less, because once you recognize the fact that the team, they are boom. I mean, not literally, but they are boom. We have come together to do this. So it is important that we do that. I mean, even especially the situation whereby one spouse is home taking care of their kids and the other one is working. It gets into. I mean, when you don't have that sense of partnership, it creates a lot of problems. Because one person feels that, of course, once you have the money, I have the power. Engineer, may pay necessary. But that shouldn't be the case. We are not even talking about it. So the mindset near the band is very important. Stewardship, partnership. It is very key for us to realize that. You know, a lot of men get insecure when their wives are earning more than them. This shouldn't be the case in marriages. If we have this mindset, it wouldn't be the case who is earning more or who is earning less. Because why is it that the two shall become one? But when it comes to finances, the two are not one. That is something that is important for us to ponder. The other thing that I also want to say about the partnership, still on the partnership, is the fact that our individual habits, money habits, we will bring it into marriage. Our individual habits, just like Subembia and one and Sunny, we will bring it into marriage. But once we get into the marriage, we should listen to wisdom and work on the challenges with our individual marriage. And I know the normal things though is got the man on Jenny be a baby and on him. So once we recognize the fact that we are partners, and I seem to have more understanding, more discipline about how to handle money, I need to help my partner to learn some of the principles, to learn how to handle money. Because you see, any challenge with your partner will ultimately come and bite you. It will ultimately come and affect you. So it is very important for you to bring your partner up in that weak area. And you can only do that when you recognize the fact that this person is my partner. When you don't have that sense of oneness, you will not even make that attempt. You will not even worry yourself. And it will just create problems for you. Some women are impulsive buyers. So, let me put it, some spouses are impulsive buyers. We are not a sort of, we are not a sort of, it means you have a breba. This will be her, this one, this says you, and you will be to me. This is something that's come. No, Tian and Kakaka. No, aquatic. You know, it be a nanukunu and I said a year in Pesa. But now that can create problems. I have encountered so many situations like that. And then other spouse will be complaining. The sense of partnership will help deal with that problem. But then the one tool that is weak in it, wisdom, nyansa, and learn. If you are weak in something, the person is your partner. So it's not like so you should recognize the fact that I am weak in this area, so you need to help me. And then the two of you work together. But say, what no one want to near, and your how better. It is a cafe moon, so I say you see a discipline. Because good financial management, it is not automatic. And I would like to keep on saying that it must be learned and must be practiced with a lot of discipline. And it will help. Two divided against itself cannot stand. So if you are not one in the issue of financial management, then we are communication, openness, and trust. This is linked to the partnership part. So once we recognize the fact that we are partners, now let us be very open about our finances. Let us be very open about it. The secretive nature of it, or the way we are so secretive about it, one spouse being secretive about it, or both spouses being secretive about their finances, it creates problems. Because the moment your how aba, if you own cash, but also the acidity. Now, a mad decisions here, and I'm be open or some decisions that that person will take will not be wise decisions. So there should not be secrecy. There should be effective communication. For a good partnership to work, there has to be effective communication. When we are making discussions on financial matters as a couple, it should be done with a sense of openness and trust. Not being too careful because you don't want the other person to find out this or that. Income level should not be a secret. In fact, when they know, you know, when it's the money is small, we are quick to declare it. I earn 500 Ghana cedis a month. But when they start earning 4,000, 5,000 on Boso, you know, but we need to be open about it. Because when you're open about it, then the other spouse will recognize what is coming into the kitty, or into the basket, or into the fund of the family. And so when we move to the other areas that we'll talk about later, it becomes easier. And there's a sense of understanding because they recognize what is being. So secretive and all those things, as I say, and then the other thing is about effective communication. When you have couples that are entrepreneurs, I think that it is very key for them. And this one, I'll just jump a little step to distinguish between the capital for the business and income to him as either the owner or the CEO or whatever. A lot of the challenges that some entrepreneurs that they would commingle business funds with home finances, and it can create problems. I grew up from a family that are mostly traders. And you know, sometimes your mom is selling something, then you just go and but that is ultimately affects the business and what my dad did was that that's a discipline I learned from him. He made a clear distinction because he was also trading. He had a shop. He made a clear distinction between the business and the home. So if my mom sends us to go and collect some provisions, my dad will take you to the storekeeper and buy and pay with money from his pocket. And then take it home. So that when communication is going on in the house about finances, and he says, because that is business capital about it is for some business expansion. So once it is for that business expansion, you need to make the person aware that this is for business, but it is not simply income. So that would be some no so it doesn't create any problem for the couple. So you need to recognize that distinction, and then make sure that all these things, communications about the fund, it is done in an open discussion. Just as you do, Obia did not dream back. Bakum Felice said, in a way, can I say, and answer Bibisa with the winning second. No, we need to take the decisions together. And that will bring me to one thorny issues that come up a lot, and I've been asked a lot: the issue of joint account. I am not going to spend my time to debate this. I'm sure in some of the discussions, some of the submissions will come. But I have a very simple position on this. Just like we have a lot of other issues, joint accounts are not for all couples. Personally, I take the hybrid position. There are certain accounts that I hold jointly with my spouse, but there are certain accounts that we hold separately. So for some people, joint accounts work very well. At the end of the month, they have account, everybody can put their income in, and then they do. I mean, ideally, that would have been the ideal situation. But it doesn't work because for some people, it has created problems. Serious problems. So even on the issue of joint, I know when they start afresh in the marriage, joint account looks very romantic. A year or two down the line, in someone. So I hold an investment account with my spouse. But when it comes to personal accounts, we hold separate accounts. And that is the decision that we have taken. So even on the issue of joint account, and still talking about how the finances will be managed, the couple needs to come together and have an open and frank discussion about it, whether this is for us or this is not for us. And then take a position on it so that it doesn't create problems. So that is just what I would say on joint accounts. And then whatever the case, whatever discussion that is done fairly in an open and free, honest conversation, people should be allocated responsibilities, and those responsibilities should be mutually agreed on. So that is it for the effective communication. Now, number 4, as a couple, we need to, and here I'm, after dealing with maybe they'll guide us in how to manage our finances. And I don't know whether I'll finish everything on it, but I'll just go as fast and as much as I can deal with. One is setting goals. As a couple, where do we want to see ourselves in 5 years? As a couple, when do we intend building our home? Where? One spouse wants to go to school. When do you intend to go, or to go and pursue a course? When do you intend to go? How long will it take? These are discussions that must happen. You do not say, I am going with my money, so when I decide to go make a course now, I'm more or less informed. We need to set the individual goals, but because you are one, it's still mutual in a way because you still need the support of each other. I want to expand my business. When? So those discussions must happen. If you set the goal on your own country, then Benz, meanwhile, if you are near a rented apartment, you as I said that we have not hit the ground with a pickaxe. That because I want to buy a Benz, my top. You risk and the toy. It creates problems. When you set individualistic goals, it creates serious issues. But once we come together and sit down and discuss, these are certain milestones we want to achieve. You know, when it's an individual, and it's even beneficial, when it's an individual, it's a bit difficult, but when it's a couple coming together and a tag team, a sound crying that you can do anything and everything. When this person, the spouse, believes in you and you also believe in the spouse, you set the goals. If the goal is like a personal career goal or something, it makes it easier when your spouse believes in that goal and supports it. So it is important that the goals are discussed and set together. You see, and then when you are setting the goals, I know a situation. The wife was doing a course, and for some strange reason, the husband too said that he wanted to do a course. Meanwhile, their finances cannot support the two at the same time. And I don't know whether it was because it was a threat to the husband or something. And he also went and enrolled in a course. And they started having serious issues on their finances. And the lady was always complaining because they didn't sit down to set the goals together. You know, I remember one time I was telling my wife I wanted to go and do this course, but I don't know, what do you intend doing? So we are having a discussion. No, sure. No, I think mine can wait. You go. And you know, once that is done, we know where some of the funds, because we are going to move next to budgeting. You know where some of the funds are going. And the person will be okay. You know, the person will be supportive, understanding. But may also to support two causes at the same time, as well as the domestic responsibilities financially. Then you have just set yourself up for chaos. Because every goal you set has a financial implication. You discuss, and then the base months are going to become a reality. So the goal should be discussed. There are various ways. One mutual goal is that, if you are next year, September, during long back, you pursue a vacation. Ni idea to me discuss it. So that decision has a financial implication. Yawumba too. I feel no master take crash. The kids are going to go to the university. The kids are going to go to some educational level. We are salaried workers. In salary workers, my paycheck only comes once a month. And I am not paid in such a way that I can take once. Even if I'm paid out, I won't do that. So we agree that we need to set up an educational fund for the children. Then we agree how much we are going to put in every month. And that is going to push me into the next principle, which is we need to budget jointly. Budget jointly. But Bible says in Luke chapter 14, verse 28 to 30. Yes, one and person will sit down on tenacity first on say Diana me per se me see this amount of money. And sign our project and take account of the fact that this goal or this thing that I'm going to pursue is going to cost me this much. If you have a foundation, you know what? It means but the Bible says that people will mock at you. So every month, there are automatic bills that are going to come. If you are not staying in your own house, in Ghana, we don't pay monthly rent, but we pay 1 year, 2 year. But you see, the monthly rent is built up over a period of time. So we agree, we are living in a rented apartment. You sit down with your spouse. Let's consider the fact that assuming you are paying rent, we'll be paying 500 cedis a month. So budgeting, you're able to rent, even though the landlord is not taking the money as at that time. You budget, put the amount together as a couple. Electricity, food, water bill, school fees, investment, and anything you can think about. Then you look into the goals. No? We want to start building our house, or we want to go and buy a plot of land. We want to go on a vacation. You list all those items down as a couple. And then you decide how to fund it. And that's why I said that one differs for each person. I normally believe in the fact that as a couple, you need to have various funds that you would have set up. Funds that is for the children, funds for family upkeep, funds for rent, funds for car maintenance. Every time that your car will break, you have to take a chunk of money from your monthly paycheck. It impacts on other equally important things. But assuming you have set up a little fund that, every month the 100 cedis better for, so that if we have cars, we used to maintain it. By the time that something happens to the car, we have to do a major maintenance. You would have built up something so that if you have to top up, maybe it should be the same for every other thing. Especially when it's a capital investment, a capital project. You need to save the money gradually. So you need to sit down, list all those items that you want to put on the budget, and then agree as a couple how you are going to fund it. Then I will just say this. Something I learned a long time ago, I think it was in the university first or second year, and some of you may be even better knowledgeable about it than me, and that is the Maslow hierarchy of needs. Yeah, in local parlance, I'll put it this way. You see, so Maslow came up with a theory about the hierarchy of needs that for every individual, onto a level, the desire for a higher level is not there. Anytime you ignore a lower level and you go up to a higher level, you create problems. And now list the needs were physiological or survival. So the need for food, water, shelter, clothing, and stuff like that. So health, employment, property, and stuff like that. Then the next level is love and belonging needs. That's more emotional, and those needs. So those are friends, family, intimacy, and the higher level is esteem needs. So for recognition, you certain dreams, not necessarily for money, but to create some level. I'll just jump and say something. So let's say, like what I said earlier, you go and buy a pen. It won't create any satisfaction. In fact, it will create problems for you. 20 minutes more. Okay. Niso, does that include questions? So that I'll split it into two. Okay. So I'll just do 5 to 8 minutes, and then I'll leave the rest. Okay. So let me just dwell with the budget. And then I'll just say some few things. So you before you go to the things that So you are thinking about it, and food is difficult in the house, and because you went to your friend's kitchen and they have a microwave, you are hustling your husband to buy you a microwave. That's not what you need at that time. So the need for food, shelter, clothing is key before you think of it. Doesn't mean you have to satisfy it fully, but to a sufficient level. When you always jump the order, it creates problems in the home, and it's just common sense. It's just common sense. And if that common sense is not applied in our financial issues, if that common sense is not applied to our financial management, it will just create problems and chaos in the house. Complete chaos. Now, because of lack of time, I'll just not say much about this and move on to something still on the budgeting that I think is key. Let me just put this. So the budget, I said, should take into recognition the things that we have to spend on. So you realize that when you even put down your expenses, some of them are short-term expenses, some are medium-term, and some are long-term. You need to plan how you're going to fund all of it. If you have a joint account, obviously, you plan based upon the joint amount coming in. If you do not have a joint account, you agree how much each person is contributing. Obviously, it is not going to be an equitable contribution from each spouse. But like I said, the mindset, because we are partners, I already know how much you earn. Then we agree, okay, because I'm earning, let me contribute. I remember when we married Fred, we opened an investment account at Data Bank, and the main objective was for the children. You know, at that time, I was earning more than my wife. So we just agreed, okay, so you put in the decision as a couple that she wants to, when she was pregnant with our second child, to come home, deliver, and then take care of the children, because it was kind of a tussle, and the business, the work that she wasn't paying that much. So up to today, even though I am putting the chunk of the money there, it is still in a joint needs. She can withdraw, I can withdraw, but she doesn't even know the account number. She's not interested, because if it is mine, if I am the one taking charge of it, is hers. That understanding is there, that trust is there, that suspicion is not there. You know, that suspicion is not there. That is how it's supposed to be. I mean, I'm not talking about me being a standard. We have fights about money anyway. But I'm saying that that principle helps. That because we are partners, that is so back to the budget issue. So we agree that this project that we're going to do. So when it comes to the provisions and food and fuel and all those things for the home, assuming your company is not the one buying fuel for you, and you're using fuel coupons, this is how much we are going to spend, and we agree. Now, once we agree, then the next thing is how are we going to fund on those things? So either we are taking from the joint kitty, if it's a joint account, like I said, it works for some people. If from individual accounts, this is how much we are going to put together towards meeting those needs. Then we get to the issue of medium to long-term projects, building projects, education, vacation, and all those things. Because we do not have some fat money sitting somewhere, you go invest it. Then you also agree. You also agree on how much you're going to put for investment. You know, even though I said some is towards it, but investment is getting to. It is always good that whatever you are investing, you tag a need to it, because that will motivate you to invest. So I'm not mentioning all of them. That's why I said investment in general. For any other, so if you are investing for to change cars about 5 years, because you have tagged the need to it, the motivation to do it is more, or to pursue that is high. The next thing is that you need to set principles on that is going to guide the family. So, for instance, our principle is that whatever money comes in tight, it's a principle. Nobody touches it. The next principle is this: assuming we have set money for item expense A, and along the line we are not able to fully fund that, maybe it's food and it's kind of sad. What do? We need to agree as a couple. What do we do in that situation? We need to agree. Normally, my approach is that When you are drawing a budget, men draw budget. You are earning 500 Ghana cedis, 500 Ghana cedis each for simplicity. When you're 1,000, not draw budget 1,000 or something, you're going to have problems. So in that 500 budget, there has to be some rainy day fund. Something that if something out, you have some money to depend on. You see, you have some money to just take. So if you are a son, you pay near. I like setting up on my own, even apart from the joint Nyama discussing in here. Setting up small funds around. So, for example, I have some susubi that I do on Momo just for the sake of it, because anytime I'm in a fix, I can easily jump to that. Not anything or something. Anytime I take food to the office, the money that I would have spent on school for that day, I put it in susu. And sometimes I'm able to accrue some money. If you are making you invest, Mrs. Sam before. And yes, I said yeah, but I just do that so that by the time I make a simple phone, I just need to top up small one big. So what I'm saying that for us salaried workers, because we do not have, apart from those that are earning big, you know, that can just dip their hand into some fund and go and pay. The rest you would have to set up various small funds. Once you agree and set up various funds, and now through baby. Now, one important thing I want to touch on before maybe I bring this session to an end, because I don't think I'll finish all I have to say, is that we need to also save towards retirement as a couple. We need to, some of those of us that much pressure on us. I come from a family of 10, and when I look at the fact that how much we are spending to take care, I say, "Tomo me too." Then I train. How do this? 10 into the I know cry one. You know, so in all this, you need to also save towards retirement. And I'll speak more on that because from NISO, and because of the time is fast spent, I cannot continue. From NISO, we need to save towards retirement so that when it gets there, you have some fat fund. Don't just be dependent on the 3-year pension scheme alone. I'll speak more on that later and in the next session. But there's a lot we need to do towards. A lot of couples do not plan for retirement. Retirement is a bit nti na paying be mu ne ba na ntumi an nya tibie bi antimo betumi ahwe na wayɛ mɔbɔ. A lot of us, even now, still, we don't save towards retirement. And I'll show you how the SNIT benefit is calculated tier 1, tier 2. Then you understand why I'm saying that as part of your plan, financial planning as a couple at retirement. So I think I will end here and give opportunity for various submissions from others. And then we'll take from there, because there are some issues that we would want to deal with, but I don't think I can do justice to it. So I'll just end here for now. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very, very much, Mr. Ansajan, for that enlightenment. We are so grateful for this opportunity to listen to you. Yeah. Please, we open up for questioning. If you have any question, you can speak Ga. Obanyo Yuiga. Obanyo Yuichi. Obanyo Yuiga. Obanyo Yuiga. So please, you can unmute your mic if you have a question. Let me see your hand. And then you can speak. Yeah, and then you can also type your question into the chat box. We'll read the question out, and then Mr. Ansajan will address it accordingly. So please, it's question time. Is anyone on the floor?
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So let me ask. Hello.
Yeah, we are here. We are all hearing you, sir.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Let me ask this question. First, number one, are there any investment now? Looking at the current financial crisis that we have, like this closure where people have money lock up in fund management, banks, and the rest, and the another. Are there financial like investment for couple now? Then number two, it's more so of a question that I know a man when he doesn't have money in the house or with the wife, that is when he picks a quarrel so that the wife could not ask money. So you intentionally pick a quarrel, and it's a strategy that I have advised him that no, it's not instead of just coming down and then explaining that I don't have money, he will intentionally pick a quarrel. So there will not be any issue about finances. But that how should men go about it when especially they don't have and they know they have to provide and the means is not there? How should they come down about this man's attitude?
Please, are you done? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he's done.
Niso, can you hear me? Can I go
Yes,
ahead?
I'm done with my question. Yes.
Okay, all right. So I get two questions. One was the investment options that are available now. But that aspect was one of the things that I said I was shelving to next week because obviously I cannot talk about it. But yes, that is a challenge now. Because of the financial crunch, the financial as a country, we don't have too much investment. So what I would say for safety for now, until things really, even though the Bank of Ghana is assuring us that the banks have been recapitalized and very stable. When it comes to the other side, which is the finance houses, we are. Hello, Niso. Hello.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. He muted me, so I was wondering why. Okay. No, so let me go ahead. So I myself had I have my money locked up in one of these situations. But like one of the things that I wanted to talk about investment was the only way I survived was because I don't put all my eggs in one basket.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Yeah, we can hear you. Can we? Hello.
It seems Barrick's.
Barrick is long.
Yeah, I think his stuff has gone off. Yeah. So he was. I think he was talking about how you can reduce pressure when there is no money by doing some investments ahead of time, so that you wouldn't get yourself into trouble. So he was referring to an issue where he has really done some little investment somewhere, so that he didn't even actually put all his investments into one basket. So based on that, he could stand the shock of the pressure when there was a little turn down in terms of investment. I think he's trying to log on, so we're trying to get him back. Please, you can, for now, he's not online, so you can type your questions into the chat box. Please just type your questions into the chat box. So when he comes, I'll read it over for him to, yeah. So he could address all of them. So please, you can type your question. You can speak any language. You can type in Ghana, Ebe. He will read it out and then he would attend to them. Whilst we are trying to get him back, you can just type your questions in. Yeah, so he's basically talking about various investments, and I believe he'll be coming back very soon. Yeah, so yeah, Roland, you can talk.
Yeah, mine is not really a question though, but I just wanted to find out. Mine is about the time. Okay, it's like I don't know if it's 1 hour. If I'm right, Mimali.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
So I was saying that it's as if the facilitators, when they come, they're in a hurry. It's like they don't know if they have another session. But Eric was in a hurry, and Mary, like always, they're in a hurry to finish. But if they know, probably there's another session next week or something, yeah, they can take their time. Okay, so I don't know if there's another session for Eric. So that's
yes, please. We all give them 2 sessions, but at times they will tell you they want to finish the first session before they go into the next session. So Barrick knows he has another session. I think he's planned for the 2 sessions. I think he has a targeted area for this particular session. So I think that's what he wanted to achieve before he moves to the second one. He's building the foundation and he'll build on that. That's why he was saying that in the subsequent sessions to come, we are going to talk about retirement and stuff. Yeah, so there's a provision that had been made for them for other sessions. Yeah. Yeah, Barrick, please.
Hello?
You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello?
Thank you.
Yeah. So Barrick.
Yes.
I think we've gotten him back.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I
so,
don't know. Technology.
yes. Yeah. Barrick, you're talking about when you don't put your eggs in one basket.
So what I say, don't put, but what you do is that you try and diversify your investment as much as possible. I would say, and then secure mutual funds with stable institutions. I don't want to be mentioning institutions so that somebody is marketing a particular institution, but I recommend a stable bank and then maybe stable finance, maybe for now some data bank, some EcoBank. EcoBank has a mutual fund that is okay. They are unit trust income. They don't. So when I do it next week, I'll give us some guidelines as to what to invest in depending on what you want to achieve. But just as I said, I would just say the secure do T-bills for now. Let things stabilize a bit, and then some mutual funds with some stable institutions like DataBank, the EcoBank, and then some of the other ones.
Okay, Barry,
I can't exhaust that will be a whole.
Yeah, there's a question in the chat box that says that please, do you need to have a joint account?
Then the second one about the man getting angry whenever the person doesn't have money.
Okay, please go ahead.
Come again.
Please go ahead with the second one before I ask the question in the chat box.
About the one, the second question, which was okay. All right. So that was the fact that the man gets angry. I mean, he intentionally picks quarrel that they will not. I mean, that's something a lot of men use. It's a strategy, like you rightly said, but I don't think it's most helpful. If we apply what I said earlier, openness, and then sit down together to look at the issue of finances together, it wouldn't even have to be you per se having to go and explain it. The wife will recognize that, yes, this is the situation. Because the thing is that my cards on the table. This is what we budgeted as a couple. And the money has been used up because one of our children got sick and we had to go and take money from somewhere to address that. So you are aware of the challenges. So it's not like you come and ask me when you know very well I don't have money. But we often don't need to always get ourselves into that situation. And it's because if we sit down and plan and set up some emergency fund, it is very necessary. You know, last week alone, I had to take one of my children to the hospital, impromptu, something I hadn't planned for. I spent quite an amount of money. Just 2 days ago, then the smallest one also wasn't well, and we had to send the person to the hospital. And then I realized that had it not been for the fact that I had some emergency funds, I would have gotten the situation that our brother just enumerated in his question. You know, so it is important to set out those small emergency funds. It helps. Seriously, it helps. You see, if you do not plan for it and it hits you, there's nothing you can do, and then it creates problems. Sometimes you blame the woman and I don't say minister now, but the situation is there. The situation hasn't changed. You know, the situation hasn't changed. Okay, so I'm seeing a question about, please, is it good to borrow for family needs? Those are the things that as a couple we need to agree on. You know, that was the whole thing I wanted about the issue of loans, credit. What is our joint decision about credit? I mean, you are even talking about loans, so you go for a bank loan. What would we go for a bank loan to do? And what we will not go for a bank loan to do? We need to agree. Because see, credit by itself is not necessarily bad. It's what you use for. I have my own principle. It works for me. I do not like loans. I don't like debt. You know, because it doesn't make me breathe easy. So I normally prefer saving towards projects. But let's say you're operating a business like I know my brother Niso is a businessman, and I'm taking money as a loan to invest into that business that I will support. But if you take loans that are consumer loans, the money that you are taking is not going to generate any income for you. Then you need to be careful and agree, because you see, at the end of the day, that money is going to come from your paycheck. And it's going to add pressure to an already pressurized environment that we find ourselves in. So loans are things that we need to think about carefully before you go to. Loans for business, they are good because the business will pay for the loan. But consumer loans, yeah, I think that we need to be. I would normally say, unless there's something dire that creates. So, not because I do not like loans, I have created a situation for myself whereby the need to really be so hard pressed that I have to go for a loan to go and do shopping for my family to eat doesn't come up. So I don't know if that answers Roland's question.
Okay, there's another one before Roland's also. It says that, please, do you need to have a joint account when there is another family elsewhere?
As in the person has more than one family.
I guess so. I guess so. More than one.
Well, once you have more than one family, all I'm saying is that it's all about, let's sit down and talk about the issue. The other spouse recognize that he or she is not the only spouse. There's another person there, you know. So you would have to sit down as the man or the woman, whoever has the two spouses or more than one spouse, and have that discussion. My assumption is because we are all Christians, so one spouse. But what I'm saying is that even when that situation comes, you have to sit down with the people concerned and have a discussion. Because like I said, joint account is not for everybody. And so you look at your situation and realize whether joint account is the best way to go. I do not like too much SBB. Joint account, any money that comes from the account, the other person knows. So assuming I even want to surprise my wife, I can't surprise my wife because security may be only. But I'll do a joint account with my wife. We are setting up a fund for the children's education. We are setting up a fund for our building, those things. So the joint, we are contributing to the kitty. In my situation, the reason I can't also speak much of because my wife is the home manager. So he manages the home. So his payment come in different forms and not cash. So it's more like me. But for a few people that have done joint account that I've encountered, it's been a bit chaotic for them. For some it was there. So the question you need to ask is, what are we setting up the joint account for? I think that's an important question to ask. A, B, C, D. Then we agree. Then we move on. Then that doesn't create problem. So that the money that will come from that account will be used specifically for that purpose. You know, and then one thing I have to say, when we all agree that we have set up a budget and we are supposed to meet this, You don't go and do something else. We all have, because you see, like I said, financial management is a discipline. If you are not disciplined, you can't do it. See, I agree, say, if you have pocket money, 200 cedis for the week or for the month, that's what we have agreed, and that's what I put on myself. Then you go to church and go and do so, you know, and come and put that pressure on the spouse. It is not right. We have asked for the 200, money the way it went, but don't come and, so the money you allocated for that is gone. If we have used the money on what, we have used the money beyond what we agreed to do. What was it? So how do we get together to then address the problem? So I think that on the issue of budgeting, the issue of those other things, we'll delve more into it next week when we continue with this discussion. But if there are any other questions, then I'll be more than glad to also allow other people to respond to it. Not only.
Yeah, please. If you have any other, we have like five minutes more to end our meeting. If you have any other, you can also put in our comments box. If you have any other, you can please let us know. Or any question, we have like 5 minutes for our resource person to round up. And as I said, next week he's continuing with the section 2, the next session of the whole financial talk. It's enormous. So he's trying to bring them in bits and pieces for us so we could digest it well. So any question from any of our participants, let us know. You can type in. So who has a bisabia? A brew against who are say bisa. Thank you. Yeah, you can speak Chi as well. You can speak.
Before we started this, somebody sent me a question.
Okay.
Somebody sent me a question ahead of time. So he said that at the beginning, the husband and wife put together money for all the expenses. And then the husband's money was smaller at the time. One of the issues that we were talking about earlier on. Now the husband's money is big, and he doesn't want to put the money together again. and the wife has some money, some cash somewhere. And they want to find out from me whether you should tell the husband about that cash. So what would we say to that?
Wow.
That's the question. Is that a question?
Yeah. That's a very interesting question. Yeah.
I'm saying that if
That's a very interesting one.
Yeah,
Okay.
if anyone wants to attempt it.
Let me see whether, okay. Let me see whether I can. Okay. So the woman should still go ahead and tell the husband. But I think, just like the way you spoke from the beginning, transparency is key.
Yeah.
A lot of the husbands think that the women are wives. When they know you have more, they will demand more.
Exactly.
So because of that notion, they always want to keep part of it and let them be aware of part. So that if that part they are aware of is consumed, they can easily fall on the part which is not known. So a lot of that's a man to do so, because if she wants to teach the husband how to be transparent, I think that she should do that practically to show the husband that I have nothing to hide from you, and therefore don't do same.
Don't do same, yeah.
So that would be my little contribution.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, all participants. I want to say a very big God bless you for a time like this. To our resource person, financial guru number one. We are so grateful for the opportunity. Please.
Oh, Charlie, we've been blessed. We've been blessed.
Yeah, we have a marriage page. Okay, that they are all there. So if you want to be added onto the page, you can do that on request. Okay, by calling or WhatsApping to 0269 506 403. 0269 506 403. If you want to be part of the married couple, the married believers in the marriage page, all these counselors are there so that you can have access to them and they can be your guide to your personal finances and other situations concerning marriage. So please, if you are online here, but you're not part of our group, the basic qualification to join that group is that you should be married, and then we are adding you and your spouse. We won't add you alone. We'll add you and your spouse, so that at least whatever you learn together will be beneficiary to the two of us in the house. So please, I want to say a very big thank you. Next week we are coming back to continue on the second session by Honorable Financial Muscle, Brother Eric Ansajan, Mr. Eric Ansajan.
Stop saying that.
Or you want the mafia? So on behalf of all the participants here, and on my own behalf, I want to say a very big thank you. We could also see some big men also online, and want to say a very big thank you to all of you for your time, your energy, your data, your ability to sit down and listen to our honorable man. We are so grateful. I want to say a very big thank you to all of you. God willing, next week, same time, at 7:20, we'll be online to pray to our marriages, and then at 7:30, talk will start sharp on time. Shall we please together share? Oh, I can see Emma's hand wants to say. Emma, you want to ask a question? Please unmute and ask your question before we share the grace.
You are the big men on the page, not the big women. I just want to draw out.
Please, there are big women. There are big women. There are big women.
That's on the lighter part anyway.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. So please, we'll continue the discussion on the number. Please, the number again is 0269. If you request that, we will just add you to the page. 0269 506 403. 0269 506 403. When you make a request from there, we'll add you to the Believers in Marriage page. It's a post-counseling marriage group that we have a lot of discussions there. And the discussions is going to continue.
You actually mean marriage counseling.
Yeah, you see. So the discussion has just started. I can see discussions already going on there. So as we finish with Mr. Eric Ansajan, he's going to continue. There are a series of questions that are going to be put to him there, and he's going to attend to all of them. So please, we'll be having discussions throughout the week till next Saturday again. So please, God richly bless you. 0269 506 403. You see me, so metal, and then you can add up to the page. God richly bless you. Shall we please all unmute our mics, and then we share the words of the grace together? Let's all share the words of the grace together. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit rest now and forevermore. Amen. So please make time so that we continue on next week. God richly bless you. God richly bless you. Have a good evening. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.